because that screen is on, Subhash. Hello. Good evening to all. On behalf of the management, our principal, Dr. Devi Arolkar, I welcome you all for the webinar lecture series organized by the Department of English, Nyan Prasarak Mandal College, Asagaon, Mapsa, Goa. Today is the final day of the session. You all might have attended the usual lectures or FDPs on your own subject about pedagogy, online technology, blended learning, NAT criteria, and so on. So, our department colleagues and I came out with a different idea of creating a different platform for the teachers where they would relax and listen to the counselors and yoga experts. Today's session is on yoga and the techniques of breathing. Yoga would bring physical and mental disciplines in our body and mind and would definitely reduce our stress and anxiety, and also it would help us to relax and would keep us fit by doing yoga. Our immunity power develops. It stresses the mental burdens. In a nutshell, we can say that yoga is panacea to all ailments of body, mind, and soul. On the other hand, exercise keeps our blood flowing smoothly, which would decrease our risk of heart diseases. Not only heart, but prevents us from getting strokes, diabetes, depression, and even certain types of cancer and arthritis problems. Even we can get away from Alzheimer's or Parkinson. Exercise and yoga help to increase the level of brain chemicals which are responsible to make new brain cells and establishes to help us to grasp new things. Physical activity stimulates various brain cells and that would leave us feel happier and more relaxed. Along with yoga exercise, if we do meditation, definitely our lifespan can be extended and would lead a peaceful life. So, on this day, let us take an oath that we would include yoga and exercises in our daily life to have a healthy and happy life. To talk more about it, we have the resource person for today, Ma'am Lakshmi Devi, the managing trustee of Feed the Soul, the organization which is from Delhi. I request my colleague, Ms. Sarika Misra, to introduce the resource person for the day, Ma'am Lakshmi Devi. Over to you, Sarika.
A very good evening to all. Today, indeed, we are very delighted to have a very dynamic personality sharing Zeitgeist zero point 0.3 platform with us. Mrs. Lakshmi Devi Subramaniam, the managing trustee of the Feed the Soul. Feed the Soul is a group of meditators and healers continuously working towards the divine idea of bringing heaven on earth. The objective of the trust is to propagate a healthy and a prosperous lifestyle through the inculcation and cultivation of various yoga prana vidya teachings in a step by step manner. Mrs. Lakshmi Devi is basically a software engineer and has worked in this capacity for 9 years at various cities. Mrs. Lakshmi never thought that she would be an instrument to heal other people suffering from physical, emotional, and mental issues. It was only in 2004, after witnessing miraculous improvement in the health of the family members within a month of application of this energy healing, Lakshmi Devi decided to learn further healing techniques too. In 2006 February, Mrs. Lakshmi Devi became the authorized trainer to spread healing and meditation techniques, and ever since then there was no looking back. Mrs. Lakshmi Devi till date have been an instrument for greater well-being for more than 10,000 lives across India and abroad, that too from varied backgrounds. Under her belt, she has already 1000 plus students and has trained 80 plus trainers who too are propagating these practical, measurable, and applicable energy science of human aura and chakra. So today we are very happy to have Mrs. Lakshmi Devi with us, who will be speaking more on the yogas and the different techniques which can be used for healing. So over to you, Ma'am Lakshmi.
Yeah. So, namaste to all of you. Let us start with a small prayer. We put our hands together in prayer. So, we humbly invoke for the blessings of the Supreme God, the Divine Father, Divine Mother, our spiritual teacher, and all spiritual teachers, all the great, great ones, all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Paramatmas, the Tirthankaras, the prophets, all the archangels, the holy angels, and spiritual helpers. We thank you all for the purification, strengthening, empowerment, and upgradation. We thank you for your priceless, constant downpour of infinite blessings. We thank you in full faith, with deepest gratitude, respect, and love. We thank you. So, we will just start today's session with a presentation. I hope you can already see the presentation. So, this is going to talk about Yoga Prana Vidya as a science. So, we would like to tell you that the word Vidya means science, especially the inner science. The word Vidya especially means the inner sciences. The ability to understand your own self is the true Vidya, or called the esoteric sciences. In the Sanskrit language, all others are called avidya, or sciences of the external world. The true knowledge that will actually help us to maintain inner peace and happiness, or on the quest of inner peace and happiness, the true knowledge which is termed as Vidya, the true knowledge which will be termed as Vidya. And prana, as defined by Swami Vivekananda. The word prana, Swami Vivekananda, he talks about the person who has mastered the use of prana. Yes, the person who has mastered the use of prana can actually move the moon, the sun, and the universe from its place. That is the definition Swami Vivekananda gives about prana, or the prana shakti, or the prana shakti. The prana or the prana shakti which flows in our bodies has to be controlled by various practices, understanding, and knowledge. And furthermore, we need to master the flow of prana not only within ourselves, but the mastery of the flow of prana into others is termed as healing. There is a process called healing. And in this process, which we call healing, actually, we understand the flow of prana in our body, and we also can be able to help the flow of prana in others' bodies. The sun is the main source of prana, as it is the main source of various other energies in this world. And this sun prana is absorbed into the air, into the earth, and into the water, and is thereby consumed by us in various forms. The adequate amount of prana maintained in our body will determine our health. And what is yoga? In a general sense, people talk about yoga as the union with God. But who has seen God? Have you seen God, or have I seen God? Actually, nobody has seen God. So basically, the yoga or the union, what a common man is striving to achieve, is the union of a life of happiness. He wishes to unite with happiness and peace. That is the basic degree of union that a person is actually looking at. The basic degree of union that a person is looking at is his own internal happiness. So, where do I find this internal happiness? Is my next question. Where do I find this internal happiness? Is the next question. So, for me to find this happiness, I need to go within myself. And myself is the energy body. Actually, 10% of what you can see is what you consider as reality, what you consider as the real world. 90% is unseen, some inside the body and some outside the body. What is inside the body are these various systems: the circulatory, the nervous system, the respiratory, the digestive system, the skeletal, and the muscular system, and so on. So, to sustain your energy body, there is something called as an energy body, which is the invisible part of every human being, but the most important part, which actually drives your life. The energy body has many water pumps, like a pump, like a water pump. This analogy is to show you that a field has a lot of water pumps and pipelines. Similarly, the energy body has something what we will call as chakras. Chakras are nothing more than God given energy pumps, pumps which pump prana shakti from the environment into the bodies. The bodies can absorb the prana from the surroundings. Repeat, the bodies can absorb the prana from the surroundings, right? But through what passage or what gates or what windows? You see, for air to come into your house, you need to open windows, right? Similarly, for the energy to come into your bodies, you need what are called as chakras. You don't need them, it is there already. You don't have to be taught how to breathe with your lungs. A child knows how to do it. Similarly, you do not have to be taught about how the chakras would absorb the energy. They know it already, right? So, here is a picture of before healing and after healing. You see, this picture, this particular picture that you can at present see on your screen, is actually taken from a gas discharge visualization camera. What do I call it? A gas discharge visualization camera. And these pictures are available in many hospitals, including the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, where this equipment would be available. For example, you go to the MRI scanning to certain particular hospitals, you go to do a CT scan to particular hospitals, you don't have all kinds of scans available in all hospitals, right? Similarly, these methods of scanning are available in certain hospitals. But the doctors very much use the aura mapping technology to find out the depression or medical tests. Everything can be determined with the help of certain instruments. Infection can be determined through blood tests. An X-ray machine can determine the condition of your fracture. Yes, an MRI scan can determine your nervous system condition. Then there are Doppler tests that, they send some chemicals to your body which will determine the blocks at different places and the functioning of the valves, but to determine depression and the state of the emotional condition and the stress, there seems to be no adequate test. And one of the reasons that this aura mapping has been adopted by doctors is that what the normal eye cannot see, the normal eye can only see between infrared and ultraviolet. It is a spectrum or a frequency through which your normal eyes will be able to see. Your eyes cannot see beyond this frequency, nor beyond all infrared, not below infrared, not beyond ultraviolet. Okay? Your eyes have a limitation, right? So these are captured by sensitive photographic cameras, and doctors found a use to this. What was their revelation? The aura condition determines the psychological condition of a person, the degree of stress and the tension that the person would actually take would be seen by the psychological condition. In this particular patient, a neurological disorder, which would definitely cause a psychological imbalance, and diabetes. So, before the healing process was started, the aura of the person, as picturized through these gas discharge visualization cameras, showed that there were breaks and cuts in the entire aura of the person. After a period of about 10 healing sessions and the meditation that we will be doing today, we were able to finally close the aura and make it complete and thicker, as you can see in this picture. This aura is an energy field which is like a shield given by God. And when this shield is broken, then any psychological fear and insecurity from the outside, from others, opinions which are constantly sent to us by people around us will start affecting us. So, all or most of the problems, including the COVID condition which exists now, doctors have termed it as psychosomatic, in the sense an issue can affect you to the degree that you fear and are pained by it or insecure about it, or to the degree of anger or hatred that you lodge within yourself. Every disease has a psychosomatic origin. And where is this psychosomatic nature of yours? Now, this is what Lord Buddha went out to search for. And he got the answers that your psychosomatic condition depends on your own speech, your own thoughts, your own emotions, and your own action. Now, look at this. Where is your emotional and mental thought and world? Like you can see only 10% of the iceberg floating above the water and 90% below the water, which is the actual foundation. So are our thoughts, emotions, and feelings, the foundations that create this physical world, which almost seems, which is almost invisible. The emotional thoughts and worlds are an invisible world. How do the thoughts of others affect us? Actually, even the doctors are not able to still tell you what would be the root of an endocrinal problem like diabetes, yes, like a thyroid issue. Even though the person eats well, sleeps well, eats right food, exercises, still we see people landing into cancer and diabetes and all sorts of issues, even brain strokes. We see people who are on the right kind of food, exercising daily, playing tennis for about an hour or two, still landing with a brain stroke. Why would this happen? Because the origin of all modern diseases is psychosomatic in nature. So the emotions of others would affect us and ours would affect others. It is mutual. And the most important thing is our DNA has certain genes which could be triggered or switched off according to the perception that you hold to the environment. I do not say this. There is a huge research to back up this statement. Your attitude changes the structure of your DNA, changes it, changes the working of the DNA. Your attitude to the environment changes the working of your DNA. This comes from the research from Bruce Lipton. This comes from a research from Bruce Lipton, who is an epigenetic researcher. Like if you have heard of metaphysics, where it talks about, you see, the Newtonian principle of physics holds the electron to be a particle. The Newtonian principle of physics holds the electron to be a particle. And metaphysics talks about an electron as a wave when it is not observed, and as a particle when it is observed. Are you getting my point? An electron, according to metaphysics, acts as a wave when not observed. Yes, so it's a wave particle theory, and acts as a particle when observed, right? So your attitude and how you observe and how you respond to the environment can change the structure or the mechanism of your DNA, right? Everything that happens to us, yes, is a reflection of who we exactly are. Everything that happens to us is a reflection of what we are. Many of us see the world as a very nasty place, and some of us would see the world as a place full of opportunities, as a world full of growth. What you see is actually what you hold within you. So, that is the meaning of this statement, reflection. If I constantly tend to hold on to grudges, hatred, and anxiety, then that is exactly what I will attract. You see, it is as simple as this. If I am in a room in which, in one corner of the room, there is a garbage can filled and filled and filled and filled with garbage for maybe a couple of weeks, would you like to sit down in that particular room and have a cup of hot coffee? Would you prefer to have a cup of hot coffee in that room where there would be a dead rat lying for maybe many weeks? Yes, a dead rat lying for many weeks. Yes, so it is not going to be very, very happy scene, right? But in that particular room, there would definitely be a party of sorts. What? There would be a party of lizards and cockroaches and flies and mosquitoes. There would be a lot of beings enjoying. Yes, what did I say? There would be a lot of beings enjoying the stink which is coming out of the garbage and the dead rat. But you would really not want to go there and sit down and have a cup of coffee, right? So, this is exactly what we do with our life. We fill our garbage cans day in and day out. In childhood, it starts with anger and frustration and irritation that we did not get what we aimed for. We did not get the support of the parents, the friends, the colleagues, the children at school, the bullying, the hatred, the pain, the disrespect, the insecurity, all that, and the fear instilled within you by the teachers and your and people around you and your peer group and the pressures is the garbage that we handle and we take within us day in and day out. Constantly we seem to increase and increase and increase the garbage that we are actually carrying with us. We never know how to get rid of this garbage. And Yoga Prana Vidya is your answer. If you have asked God, I want to get rid of the garbage which is so deeply rooted within me, give me a method in which I can just throw out my garbage can, then we can provide you the support and the help. You see, there are many methods and modes of doing positive affirmation that is so prevalent in the market. But please do understand, the positive affirmations, yes, the positive affirmations is like putting good food into the garbage or fragrance, air freshener into the room which has constant garbage littered into it. Are you understanding the point? Yes, which has constant garbage littered into it. It is like putting air freshener. So, do you want to just put air freshener to your life and keep telling yourself that my life is improving, it is becoming better? Do you want to just keep telling yourself that your life is becoming better? Or do you really, really want to make it better by throwing out and cleansing the garbage can so that it stinks no more? Okay, so that it stinks no more. Okay, are you understanding the point? So now the point here is the law of cause and effect. I have been the cause. I have put in something into myself. I have filled my garbage can. I have filled myself with hatred and anxiety and injury. I have decided the course of my life. I am the author of my own miseries. I have the author of my own miseries. I have decided the course of my life. Are you getting my point? I have decided the course of my life and I am the author of my own miseries. We have to understand the simple but most important truth, and there is no replacement to this truth. God does not decide what has to happen good or what has to happen bad for somebody. Who decides it? I decide it. I decide it with the frequency and the energy that I constantly keep radiating from every particle of my system. Who decides it? I decide it. Every time I react to something with pain, with horror, with anxiety, with hatred, or with happiness and peace and with security and feeling things will go right, I decide what will be the outcome of my thought, my emotion. Every small stress and tension that I take will cause an extra secretion of cortisol in my system. Do you understand my point? Every little bit of stress and tension that I would gather into my system, every little bit of stress and tension that I would gather into my system is going to increase the adrenaline secretion, the fight, flee, or freeze. We may fight, we may flee, we may run, or we may just freeze. We need to decide what we want to do. Are you getting my point? I need to decide what is the frequency that I wish to send out of my system each moment. I need to decide this. When I hold anger, within me, the anger is going to burn down my house. Is that understood? When I hold anger within me, the anger is going to burn down myself. Anger which is held within me will give me gastric issues. Yes, gastric burning sensation inside your stomach is nothing but the anger and the disgust and the fear, yes, which you have continuously accumulated over ages. Are you getting my point? Which you have continuously accumulated over ages. That burns within you. Are you getting my point? What burns within you is actually what you hold within yourself. Nobody will decide what you need to hold within you or what you should let go of. You are the decreer of your own karma. You are the decreer of your own conditions. You decide what you want to hold and what you want to let go of. Simple. Yes, are you getting my point? You have to decide. Anger, fear, and disgust, if you are going to hold them, it is going to be rotting within your system. Pain, envy, sadness will rot and anger will burn. So, what is the solution to get back my freedom, my power? What is the solution? Is the question. The solution for my happiness, the solution for my happiness is forgiveness. The solution for my happiness is actually forgiveness. Forgiveness is a smart thing to do and a very courageous act. It is not the work of the weak. It requires a lot of courage to let go of anger and hatred and regain your freedom and power. It is so easy to hold on to a grudge and curse the world and blame the world and keep the world responsible for your problems. But an eye for an eye is going to make the whole world blind. And when I hold on to anger, it is like I am drinking the poison and expecting the other person to die. So says Lord Buddha. What do you want to hold on? Psychosomatic. My holding on to past memories and miseries have to be finished. I have to eliminate them, right? So let us look at a very small process called as YPV forgiveness sadhana, right? This sadhana is available on the YPV app in your Play Store or any other equivalent thing on iPhone, right? So the forgiveness is the most important thing. Forgive, forget, and do not burn in revenge and regret, die in regret. I need to forgive because I deserve peace and freedom and happiness and good health, and I deserve it. That is why I need to forgive. So let us take a short look at the forgiveness sadhana. I will just explain it to you over here. So the process of forgiveness is simple and easy. I need to do a three-step process. I need to forgive because I want freedom. So we will make a small prayer. We will say, Lord God, Lord God, help me to forgive, forget, and let go. Please help me to forgive, forget, and let go of all my past grudges and miseries. Yes, let me get rid of all my past grudges and miseries, and may I be in peace. And may I be forgiven for all that I would have done, knowingly or unknowingly, to others. Please understand that there may be many times that we would have done something knowingly or unknowingly. Kai baar, many times, we would have done something knowingly or unknowingly. We would have ignored people's request for help. We would have made fun of people. We would have forwarded WhatsApp jokes making fun of people like politicians and actors. And we would have thought it is our birthright to make fun of people. And when people criticize us, are judgmental towards us, send hatred towards us, we ask a question, why me? Why me? Because I have done it earlier. If I need to be forgiven for my actions, I need to forgive first. Forgive my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me. I want forgiveness as I give forgiveness. Please forgive and forget. Right? Many times people cannot forget, they just fool themselves by burying the old events deep within themselves. So let us look at the process of the forgiveness sadhana. Put your hands in the namaste position, and now just smile and imagine, if you can, those people who would have hurt you or pained you, and say, I forgive you all, because we are all children of God. We all make mistakes, and evolution involves making mistakes. I forgive you because I want my freedom and power and happiness back. And may you also be blessed with God's peace and blessings. Raise your hands to the blessing position like this, and let's do Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. And then say, cut, cut, cut. I want to cut off from you. It's okay. We had a life together. We had our time together. I would like to now cut off. Thank you. And then you say, if I have caused any misery or unhappiness or ignored anybody's cry for help or made fun of people who have asked for help, if I have been so hard hearted, please forgive me, for I know not what I have done. Please forgive me my mistakes as I have forgiven those who have wronged me. And you say, bless all those people whom you would have hurt. Let us bless them with intense peace. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Blessings be to all. Right? Let us do. Thank you for blessing me with intense peace. Let us receive the peace. Open your hands to receive the peace and say, thank you, Lord God, for blessing me, my entire life, my environment, within me and around me with intense peace and bliss and happiness. I thank you. Thank you for forgiving me as I have forgiven. And thank you for the intense peace that you constantly bestow upon me. Om Shanti 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 Om. 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 Blessings be to all. Next, let us understand a simple breathing exercise. Now, we need to learn to breathe like a child. Please look at this video very, very closely. A child breathes only from the abdomen. Inhale, child's abdomen out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Baby breathing is the most natural breathing. Let's see this again. Inhale, tummy out. Exhale, tummy in. Yes. So the child breathes most naturally. And this is exactly what we have to do. When we inhale, then the air goes into the stomach. That means your diaphragm goes down, your lungs will expand, your diaphragm goes down, your abdomen is pushed forward a little. When you exhale, when you push your abdomen inside, your diaphragm goes up and the lungs will contract and throw out the air. That is exhalation. So, this is a simple breathing mechanism. So, let us do this breathing mechanism. What you can do is you can just imagine, or you can put one hand at your stomach, just put one hand down on your belly and push your belly in, push, 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 push. Intend your stomach is going inside and you're exhaling. Exhale, exhale, exhale the grief, the hatred, and the injury. Inhale, inhale, inhale the peace, love, and compassion. Again, push your belly in slowly. Exhale, exhale, exhale. As you inhale, automatically your stomach comes out. Please, let's do this again. Inhale, stomach out. Exhale, stomach in. It's exhale, exhale, exhale. Push, inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale again. Your stomach goes in. And inhale. Your stomach expands. This breathing method by itself is a very calming process. This breathing method by itself is a very, very calming process. Right? So let us do a small prayer. Yes, there's a small prayer here, which we will do it in a certain fashion. The prayer will be done in the process of planetary peace meditation. This meditation involves opening up two chakras. The two chakras are called the heart chakra and the crown chakra. The heart chakra is positioned at the center of your chest. And the crown chakra, the heart chakra is at the center of your chest, and the crown chakra is at the center of your head. Just a moment. I think you can see me, or I don't know. The PowerPoint is being shared. Okay, so I think I'm not visible. Okay, just a moment. The heart chakra is at the center of the chest, somewhere like the second button. And the crown chakra is in this point, in the head area. Okay? The crown chakra will be at the head area. Now, so that's heart chakra and the crown chakra. Okay? So the heart chakra and the crown chakra of a practitioner of this particular meditation we will talk about will open up like gates and windows. And when they open up, then the blessings of God will come to you in greater and greater degrees. There will be so much blessings of God coming to you. And with these blessings of God, your life will become clear, like a clear glass. Otherwise, people are misguided, misdirected because their aura is full of dirty energies. The garbage can, right? So when we do this particular meditation, it is like emptying the garbage can. This meditation by itself will bring about lot of energies of the divine. Lot of divine energies will pour down during this process of the meditation. Lot of divine energies will pour down during this process of the meditation, right? So there is an individual connection if one person meditates, but if a group of people would meditate, then the crime rates in those areas can be brought down to zero within a period of about 8 weeks. But we need huge groups meditating. So, such experiments have been conducted in the late 80s in the USA, where people have meditated in huge groups of thousands, and the crime rates there have dropped to about 23-30% drops. So, as your own pain and misery and anger is being thrown out, it will be possible for you to actually bring peace within you and around you. So let us have a quick look at how to do this meditation. Because of the paucity of time, we will just quickly look at it. So put your hands in the heart in the Namaste Mudra again and smile. Touch your heart with love. We are all children of God. We all are constantly growing. Be aware of your heart chakra. Your heart is a being of love. Think of a happy event and smile at your heart. Think of another happy event and smile at your crown. Raise your hands to the chest level. Keep your left hand at the heart and bless the earth in front of you. Lord God, thank you for making me an instrument of your divine love and divine peace. Be aware of the earth in front of you. Where there is darkness, let there be light. Where there is sadness, let there be joy. Where there is doubt, let there be faith. Where there is hatred, let there be forgiveness. And where there is disease, let there be healing. Smile at your heart is blooming like a beautiful rose. Smile at your heart. Be aware of the heart of God at the center of your crown and smile. Continue to keep your left hand at the center of the heart. Be aware of the crown. Keep your eyes closed. Be aware of the center of the head, the crown, and say, from the heart of God, through our crown energy centers, may there be divine peace, bliss, and love radiating into the heart of every person, every being on this earth. Intend and channelize divine peace, love, and bliss into this earth. May every person, every being experience divine peace, divine bliss, divine love. Be aware of your heart and crown. When both the chakras shall open, you receive the blessings of God. Inhale through your heart and crown energy centers the divine love and peace of God. Inhale, inhale. The love of God entering into your chakras and into your body. Exhale. Inhale again. The love of peace of God and exhale into your bodies. Visualize the abundant love and peace radiating through your hands into this earth in front of you. May all violence, vengeance, brutality, and revenge be transformed into love, compassion, goodwill, and spirit of forgiveness. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Put your hands down with your palms facing upwards. Be aware of a golden flame of light above your head. Just be aware of the golden flame. Say to yourself, I am a child of God. I am connected one with God. We are all one. We are all one. You may choose to chant any mantra, Om, Amen, or Amin, by being aware above the head. Smile at a golden flame above the head and keep your eyes closed and be aware of the golden flame. This golden flame is the flame of God which will de-stress you, which will cleanse you, which will help you grow. Om. Amen. Amen. Be aware of the golden flame for 30 seconds and just be peaceful and relax. Now imagine the golden flame entering into your left and right brain. Please keep your eyes closed and just follow the instructions peacefully. You may say thank you to God for blessing me with love and light. I am full of life. I am full of light. I am healthy and bright. Be aware of your brain. Your left brain and right brain is full of life and full of light, and we are healthy and bright. Feel it. Your left and right brain is full of life and full of light. You are healthy and bright. All old thought patterns, the programs, memories, flashbacks, which prevents good health, happiness, positive relationships and abundance be completely removed. Every gray matter and white matter of your cerebrospinal system is flooded with this golden flame. All stress and tensions be dissolved right now. Be aware of the golden flame entering into your endocrinal system, your eyes, ears, nose, sinuses, your pituitary, pineal, and hypothalamus. Everything is flooded with this golden flame. Say to yourself, I'm full of life, I'm full of light, I'm healthy and bright. Your endocrinal system is normalized and harmonized in its functioning. Feel the golden flame entering into your throat, thyroid, parathyroid, into the voice box, into the windpipe, into the food pipe, into the lymphatic system. All fears, insecurities, phobias, dirty, diseased energies causing infections, excessive malignant growths, any such energies be disintegrated right now, dissolved, finished. Feel the golden flame entering deep into your thyroid and parathyroid. Any tendencies of lying to oneself, any intense hatred, anxieties, all cursing, blaming others for our miseries, all such energies in the throat area be thoroughly dissolved. Every particle of your spinal cord is flooded with this golden flame. Please take it there. Imagine the golden flame is entering into your spine. Say to yourself, I'm full of life, I'm full of light. All dirty, diseased, degenerating energies in the spine be disintegrated and flushed down. The golden flame is entering into your lungs, your heart, your arteries, your veins, your alveoli. All dirty, diseased energies, all clots, blocks into the four chambers of your heart and your lungs, into the intestines, into the diaphragm, into the gallbladder and the stomach bag and the pancreas. The golden flame dissolving all lack of patience and tolerance and lack of sweetness, any suppressed anger, unresolved anger be dissolved now. The golden flame completely flooding every particle of your system. The golden flame is completely flooding every particle of your system. Every atom of your system has been flooded with this golden flame. Feel the golden flame entering into your diaphragm. Your breathing is getting smoother, smoothened. Every particle of your liver filled with this golden flame. Say to yourself, I am full of life, I am full of light, I am healthy and bright. The golden flame entering into your reproductive organs, low self-esteem, relationship frustrations, lust and greed be disintegrated into your every atom, the tip of the tailbone, all depressions and sadness and hatred and injury be disintegrated into your skeletal and muscular system, the golden flame. Infinite golden flame entering into every particle of your bodies. Say to yourself, I am full of life, I'm full of light, I'm healthy and bright. I am healthy, I'm bright. Please raise your hands to the chest level in the blessing position again. and intend that the whole of your family, your friends, your co-workers, whole of your fraternity, your community, your country is blessed with good health and happiness and good fortune. May people help each other, support each other. May there be goodwill and will to do good. May the good thoughts, the good feelings, the good intentions of people be transformed into good actions. And all inaction is also injury. May people deeply understand forgiveness, right action externally for any injurious attempt, crime, right action, duty to be performed, but forgiveness internally. May people understand the spirit of forgiveness. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. All red tapeism and bureaucracy be transformed, transmuted, neutralized, and removed, especially from India or wherever you are at this point of time. May there be simplified laws, right laws of governance, simplified laws at all levels, right infrastructure, optimal utilization of all resources, human, financial, infrastructure, intellectual, and time resources. Optimal utilization. So be it. Blessings be to all. You may put your hands down, palms facing out downwards, and intend or visualize a very strong grounding. From below your feet, visualize as if you are strongly rooted, rooted, rooted. The rooting or the grounding is like a huge root of a banyan tree, the root of a huge oak wood tree, a huge root going down, like a lightning conductor, a huge root going down, 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 deep into Mother Earth. Bless Mother Earth with good earth, good air, good water. Blessings be to Mother Earth. May Mother Earth be regenerated and rejuvenated. May there be peace. Om Shanti. 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 Om. Blessings be to all. We thank, you may fold your hands or you open your hands. We give thanks. We give thanks to the Supreme Parabrahman, the Almighty, the Allah. We thank you and all the great, great ones, the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Paramatmas, the Tirthankaras, the prophets, the archangels, the Devas, and the Mahadevas. Thank you all for your priceless, constant blessings and presence in our life to be able to do what is right and refrain from unwholesome actions and behaviors. May we create our future in the most wholesome and holy way. What we think and speak be right and wholesome, and what will come back to us will be right and wholesome. We thank all of you. So, namaste. Thank you all for being with us in the session. So, we are open to questions, if any.
Hello, Subhash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please carry on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful session. We have some questions in the chat box. We have Shweta. She has two questions. I'll ask the first one first. She says, ma'am, there are certain people who always speak negative and complain about others. We cannot avoid them as they are sometimes of our own relations. We are not okay to listen to them. Hence, how to overcome these type of people?
Okay. You see, the point is we always see the negativity in other person, other people around us. Yes, and I agree that some people could be more negative, but that is based on their life, their childhood, the pain that they would have gone through, the misery, the financial issues that they would have actually had, that would actually be dependent on their what they have gone through their lifetime. And you see, we need to be compassionate and polite in addressing the needs of people around, avoiding them. You see, everything is energy, right? Everything is energy. And if you have a tendency to come across people like this again and again and again, maybe there is a lesson for you to learn. Any situation that I keep encountering again and again has some lesson to teach me, right? And if I am constantly surrounded by such people, I need to learn a lesson to empathize, to see through other people's viewpoint, to help. Yes, there must be a lesson that I need to learn so that that situation will not come back. I just take this opportunity to tell you that there may be many such situations. There may be people who are nagging a pain in the neck. There may be people who are cheating. And these situations I may come across in my life at different points in my school, in my college, in my married life, in my job. But a repetitive pattern in my life simply means that there is something that I have to learn and get rid of. Otherwise, the universe has its ways of showing you again and again that mirror which is in the form of other people. That there was one slide which said the world around you is a reflection of what you are. You may not be verbally negative and complaining, but you may not be seeing the world through a positive eye. And that is simply seen on the outside in the form of negative and complaining people. What I see is what I am within. That is a very hard truth to understand many times, but that is the truth. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. She asks further that some people say that they do meditation hours together, but when they speak with others, mostly they hurt in words. Meditation in general changes the thoughts and words of the people. I believe it, she says. Is my thought true or not?
We don't know what kind of meditation they are doing. And meditation has to be carried along with the throwing out of your garbage can. So if they don't know how to throw out their garbage can and they have just picked up some meditation online and they are sitting for hours together in silence, it is not going to create a great change. It will not create a great change. There is a great saint of the south called as Ramana Maharishi. In one of his stories, he talks about a person who meditates for hours, what not hours, weeks and days in continuity. So, Ramana Maharishi states this story to explain to you about the vasanas. Vasanas means the negative habits of people. So, sometimes the negative habits cannot be lost by just you going into deep trance for hours and hours, or days, or months and months. He gives the story of a certain person who wants water. He is asking for water, he's in thirst, but somehow he lands into a trance, and the trance goes on for many, many weeks. And the moment he comes out of the trance, the first question, the first thing that he wants is water. The trance has not removed his thirst. So is with people. Just by going to meditation for some time, your vasanas or negativities are not eliminated. You need knowledge, Gyan Yoga. You need understanding. Jnana Yoga is important. You need to understand what karma to perform, Karma Yoga. You need to understand how to cleanse yourself, healing. All that together, meditation has to become a way of life, not for some time at some point of time in the day and then you come back to your normal self. That is not meditation. Thank you.
Yeah. Ambika Kamath has a question. How would you perceive the outlook of placing eternal onus on one's action on oneself in light of mental health? Don't you think a conscious thought before saying and doing anything would help more than focusing on only on forgiveness? It is true that sometimes you need to forget and forgive, but personally, I believe in the power of words, and we need to be absolutely cautious while choosing our words.
I do believe in the power of the words that we are constantly emitting, because the words that we constantly are using take a certain degree of energy and karma from us. Positive karma. Everything, every word you utter takes your energy along with it. And especially more for people who meditate. Your words can come true with the combination of energy. But if I have not let gone of my anger and my irritation, and I think just putting fresh mud over it and putting new saplings on my old memories is going to allow those memories to be gone off, I make a fool of myself. If every time I see that person and I would have a flashback of that memory, all the cautious words are not going to work, because words come from my thought and my emotions. If I cannot have a positive thought towards a person, if I have not forgiven and forgotten about a certain incident, which is like a parasite and eats into my life, my words are going to be of no use unless I eliminate them from my own mental and emotional strata. So I do completely place one's own thoughts and emotions as the complete eternal onus to your own mental and emotional health.
Right. Uh, Next question is by Ma'am Deepa Prajit. She asks, traumatic stress disorder in case of abuse victims and victims of intense violence, can can forgiveness work for them? What and where is the place of justice in such circumstances?
I think I've already answered this question towards the end of the session. Inaction is injury. If there is a rapist, if there's a sexual abusist, or a person who has murdered or created or done a heinous crime, as a responsible person in the society, you will have to get up and get that person and put him back behind the bars into the jail, because so that he will not perform the same action again. But you holding on to the grudge, the unhappiness, the pain, and repeating that thought again and again, putting it into flashbacks into your mind, your body is just a set of hormones being released left, right, forward, center. Every time you repeat that abuse in your mind, it is technically, scientifically proved that this hormones will be released again and again and again and again, which leads to the ill health of those victims. Here, I am totally concerned about giving those victims another life and not eliminating them by reminding them again and again of the trauma and the misery that they have gone through. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah. And the last question is by Monisha John. She asks, how does one understand the difference between a spiritual awakening experience and psychological development?
Okay, you see, this is a question I'm going to, it'll be a very stale answer from my part, in the sense that the awakening, spiritual awakening, is not going to make you see Buddha and Krishna dancing in front of your courtyards. It is just going to be that you will have more faith, you'll be a more peaceful person, you will be not shaken up by the small events in your life that is constantly happening around you. There would be events in the morning, the evening, the maid would not turn up, the electricity would be gone exactly at the time you want to run your show, or whatever is happening will not shake you up internally at all. Your ability to keep your calm inside you at all times is the actual spiritual awakening. Not much like the expectation that people would have out of a spiritual awakening, that they will actually see gods and see a lot of lights and colors in front of them. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Ma'am Shanti, over to you.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Thanks, Subhash, for such a wonderful question answer session. And I would like to propose the vote of thanks. Gratitude is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all others. It is the healthiest of all humans' emotions. One should be grateful to the people who make us happy. There are the charming gardeners who make our soul blossom. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. God has given a gift of 86,400 seconds today. Have I used want to say thank you to anyone? Thank you is the best prayer that everyone could say. I say that one a lot. To give thanks is very nice. Thank you. Once a day or maybe twice to give thanks is very nice. Ma'am, it was
Yeah.
indeed a very great pleasure of having you for the final day of this webinar session. Actually,
Thank
you
you.
had cleansed our thoughts, our emotions, and now I feel that I'm completely a kind of free soul, I can say, through the strong words like forgiveness and forget. Is very difficult to follow, but we will try our level best. And the
Those,
words like life, light, and you told about how one should think positively to lead a peaceful life and happy life. It was
yes.
really wonderful session what we had, and with these two chakras, like near the heart and near the mind. I think that the light will flow in each and every one of us who are attending, who have attended this session of yours. Thank you very much. And we would like to keep in touch with you, and we want you to come back again to
Thank you.
have
Thank
many
you.
more sessions to not only to the teachers who have registered now, the participants. I want, even if it is possible, we will arrange for our college teachers where we want you to come and speak to them, or maybe
Yeah.
virtual meeting. Thank you
Yes.
very
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I should thank all the resource persons who had consented and taken their time to give their session. I would like to thank Melanie on the first day. Then the second day we had Joan. Yesterday we could not have because some unfortunate thing has happened. We could not have. And today the final session is the topmost and really very nice session we had. Thank you to all the
Thank you.
resource persons. And I would like to thank the participants. Initially, we had so many technical cliches, and first we had the WebEx, then we moved to Google Meet, and the participants really you're amazing. You had cooperated so well, and we could have the sessions smoothly. And because it was raining heavily yesterday, day for yesterday, we were having so much of connectivity problem, but all waited until the end. They listened, and which made us to feel it was like a boost for us. So thank you very much. And I should not forget our principal, Dr. D.B. Arolkar, who has given us the permission to organize this webinar session on stress management, which is need of the hour. And really, the this today's session especially made our ourselves to get de-stressed. And I think all the participants also would agree with me. And finally, I would like to thank each and every colleague of mine in the department. And because of them, I could manage to have such webinars in the past. And even in future, we would have such webinars. Especially a special thanks to Subhash, who always at the technical side, he helps and then bring any problem to get solved. And I thank Fabiola, Rika, Rizala for doing a wonderful job. And finally, I thank each and every one of you. A special thanks to Ma'am Lakshmi Devi.
Thank
And
you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I should thank Rajesh Nagavekar. Because of him, I got in touch with you, ma'am. So I should thank him also. And
Yes.
once again, I thank each and every one of you. And let us meet again somewhere, sometime.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you.
Dear participants, the link for the overall feedback has been posted on the chat box. Please fill it in. It's very important for the certificates. Thank you. Have a nice time.